This is Answer Meditation, and you're tuning in to Sandy Daley.
Natural beauty.
The original 3Cs, the Black Carrie Bradshaw.
Listen.
You want the gossip? You want the information? The news? The real talk?
You sexy
You are now tuning into the Daily Grind with me, Sandy Daley. Let's go, baby. Good afternoon, and this, of course, is the first show, the Daily Grind with Sandy Daley, and I'm so excited to be here. I am so happy that you're going to be joining me for the rest of your life from now on. So for those who don't know me, let me just introduce myself. My name, once again, is Sandy Daley. I'm based in Toronto, beautiful Toronto, Canada, where everything is green. Not right now, of course, it's still kind of snowy, but and kind of cold. But anyways, based here in Toronto, Canada, and originally from Kingston, Jamaica. I have been here for a number of years. I am an actress, I'm a writer, I'm a producer, and of course, I'm now your host, your person that's going to bring you all the information, all the gossip, everything that you need to know. And it's going to be an amazing time because this has been something that I've wanted to do for such a long time. I've always wanted to have my own show, and I'm so excited that you are actually going to be here with me because, you know, we're going to be doing this together. So the Daily Grind with Sandy Daly is all about information. It's all about entertainment. It's all about what's going on in the news. It's all about things that you need to know. And it's also about stuff like love. So today we're going to be calling our Wednesdays Shoot Your Shot Wednesdays. And today I have a beautiful young lady with me, and she's going to be talking to us about her love journey and what is it that she's looking for. And that's if she's looking. We have to just get that clear first, number one, okay? What is she looking for? What does she want from a man or whatever she's looking for? So we're going to be bringing up Miss Shanika right now. Shanika, how are you? Looking
Hi,
beautiful.
Sandy. How are you? Thank you. Good. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Wonderful. So say hi to everybody, and you're such a beautiful girl. So
Thank
just
you,
introduce
Sandy.
yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shanika. I'm also from Toronto. I was actually born here, but I have a Jamaican and Guyanese background from my parents, of course.
Right.
35 years old. I'm single. I have a young daughter, and I have a puppy. And I'm
Oh,
loving my life. I'm
Didn't
just
know about-
loving my life.
I love it. I love it. You know that joke that's going around where it's like the mother says, "I'm 35 and I don't have a child," and the kid that's gonna pop up.
Yeah,
That
there
just
she
happened
is.
right. That just happened right there. I love it so much. So Shanika, for you, and looking at you, and I know you personally, so I know that you're an amazing woman. Why is it you said that you're single?
Yes.
Why is it that you think that you're single? Do you think it's a Canadian thing? We kind of have to like talk about that as we go along. But yeah, why is it that you're single?
You know what? I just feel like being here, the focus for myself, I can't
Right,
speak for everybody, but the focus for myself is like building my career and putting myself first. I've been single for the past 6 years,
right.
and I've met people, I've gone on dates and everything, but I can't click with anybody or
Aw,
they just can't click with me. Maybe, I don't know. But I
aw.
think my main focus is work. And I
Right,
know that shouldn't be it, especially being at the age that I am. I should be, or I want to be finding love. But
right,
right now, I think it's just work. So when in time, I think I'd be able to find somebody, hopefully, that's good for
right.
me. And, you know?
That's gonna be now. Do you think that you said something that I kind of want to jump on. You said that you should be finding somebody. Is this something that you think society places a control? You know what I mean? A thing over you where you think you should? Because I always want to talk to younger ladies such as yourself about
Mhm.
relationships and why they get into it. Why is it that you think that you should find
I'm
love?
I'm not gonna be that person and say that no, it's not society. Like obviously
Right,
society plays a huge part, women and the generational time clock and all this stuff like that. But I
right.
think right now, at the point that I'm in my life, I've climbed my corporate ladder. I've got to where I want to be in my work, and now I think it's time that I do find somebody because I'm at a place where I'm stable with my job, and
Right.
because that I don't have to think about the work and getting to where I need to be. Now I can think about finding a spouse or a partner and to
Mhm.
be able to still build with them as well.
Right. And you also just said something that I really love, to build, right? Is that
Mhm.
what you're looking for? Because I know just to let you know, honey, when I put up your photo, once I put up your photo, everybody's like, oh my God, I got so many likes. All of a
Oh,
sudden my notification things were
oh.
going off. I'm like, what's happening here? And I looked, it's like they're loving on Shanika. No, yeah, is what exactly you're looking for? Is it to build? That's what I always say, to build with somebody. Is that what
Yeah,
you want?
that's the ultimate goal for me, is to build. Find
Right,
somebody to build with. I mean, it takes two. It's going to take 100% for me and 100% for my partner, whoever he may be.
right.
But to build, and there's goals that I want to have for myself, and there's goals that I'm sure that he's going to want to have. So
Hmm.
the goal is to build and to reach those goals and to just live peacefully, live comfortably, not have to worry about anything in life.
Right. And sometimes, there's going to be definite wars, but I totally agree with what you're saying, build together. Because a lot of times, I think, a lot of times people forget that a couple, when you have somebody beside you who, things might not be the best at the moment, when you
Yeah.
have somebody beside you that can actually speak to that and help you, and even to put your shoulders on and say, baby, you know what? You know what? It might be a little bit easier, right? What do you think about that?
I agree 100%. I feel like the one thing you have to always remember, whether you're a man or woman in a relationship, is you chose that person for a reason.
Right.
The pros should always outweigh the cons. If the cons are outweighing the pros, kind of like look back and evaluate your relationship and see where things need to be fixed or where the communication has to lie. But I feel like having those pros outweigh the con, you have to go back and remember why you chose that person in the first place.
Right.
Everybody's gonna have flaws. There's everything's not gonna be perfect. But you have to look at the pros and why I chose this person and go back to that and resort or revert back to that to
Right.
understand why you're with them in the first place. And so you can,
I I love that because a lot of times people are so willing and so quick to jump out of
yeah,
situations, right? They get married, they get committed to somebody. They're in the sense of, being a partner, and then the next thing they're gone because
yeah,
they don't realize that the difficult times, you do, as you said, have to remember the pros more than the cons, right?
absolutely.
Because life is going to be a struggle sometimes, but it is totally up to you to make the most important thing valued in that relationship. Now,
Right.
minus of that, you seem to be a young lady who has her head on your shoulders. Is there like a look that you're looking for? Does it have to have like, I know my kryptonite. I'll tell you my kryptonite. My kryptonite is a bow leg man. Okay.
Really
My kryptonite is
interesting.
a bow-leg man. I put it out there. Okay. But do you have a kryptonite? Do
I
you have
just
a kryptonite?
love black men. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, girl.
A black man. That's the man that I want. A black man.
Right?
There's
But
other attributes as well, but looks
yeah,
wise,
tell
I need
me,
a black
what does this black man have to do?
man. I like a black man who takes care of himself physically.
Right,
I myself, I'm in the gym constantly, so I want to make sure that my person is equally yoked in that sense.
right,
Um, yeah, I know healthy. I don't age doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not gonna go too old, but
right.
age is not a big thing. I love me a silver fox. If I could
Right.
find myself a
Hey,
silver fox,
now
I'll take
how
it.
old? That's so fun. How
Oh.
old? How old are we talking here?
I'm,
We're
like,
almost to the grave here, Shanika.
oh yeah, I'll cap it at like 50,
Uh-oh.
maybe
Uh-oh.
55.
Really? So, gentlemen,
Yeah,
you heard. Shanika
I'm
said
very, I'm,
50
I'm
is not a
extremely
problem.
mature for my age. So a nice, mature, experienced man, I
Right.
definitely can, I know, Santi. I can definitely be okay with that.
Yeah. And so, with that being said, for you having this solid relationship, a solid child, in the sense of saying that relationship with your child, do you ever think that, that relationship with your child, because I know your daughter, might be compromised? How do you feel about bringing somebody into that situation?
To be fair,
Yeah.
it's hard to think about because I don't know unless I'm in it, to be honest. I could only imagine what it would be like, but you
Right.
never really know until you're actually in it. I do most definitely want somebody who's going to be able to interact and like my kid. And my kid, of course, has to be able to like them back.
Right.
Um, they just have to get along. If someone doesn't get along with my child, then they're not for me because my kid she's amazing. And I know every mom or dad is going to say that about their kid, but she's my kid and she comes
Right.
first before anybody. So their relationship has to be solid as well. In order for me to move forward with somebody, I would need that.
Nice. And so for you, knowing that we want a black man, that's number one. We want somebody that's like that works out because I know you've got an amazing body.
Thank you.
But most solidly the mind is solid. So that's what I look at. I look at people for their looks, but also most importantly,
Their
how
mind.
solid, and the mind to me is the most attractive. And I've known you for a number of years and you're a solid woman and I love that. Solid young lady. So and so now he has to be he can be a silver fox, as we said. So not almost in the gray, but
No, there has to be some black hairs in there. Silver
right,
and black.
silver and black. And education wise, what do
100%.
you look at?
Honestly, I'm not going to say that I need somebody who's scholared and has diplomas left, right, and center. I think somebody
Right,
that is street smart is probably smarter than somebody who is book smart. I learned
right,
through experiences in life. I never really learned so much when it came to school. So if you
yeah,
are a solid person, you're intelligent, you can lead. If you can lead and you can guide me and us and our relationship and our
right.
family in the right direction, I think that's solid enough for me.
And this is a good point that you brought up. You said the word that I love to bounce on when I speak to women: lead. Are you the type of person, the type of woman that will allow a man, that will make a man lead? And what do you think about that? A lot of people say they cannot be submissive or that they cannot allow a man to lead. What's your opinion on that, Shanika?
I can be submissive to the right man.
Hey, all
Because
right,
I myself, and I know a lot of guys don't like to hear this word, I'm an
yeah,
alpha female and I
right,
make a lot of sound decisions on my own. But if a man is ready and willing to lead,
yeah,
if I can feel the sense where he's actually leading me in the right direction and we're actually going to be going somewhere, then I can definitely be submissive and take a step back and be that female, figure
yeah.
in the relationship.
For sure. Yeah, I've always said to myself too that it's good to have a man that can lead me and he lead me in the right direction. I'm totally fine with that. I am very much an alpha female, just like yourself,
Yeah.
but at the same time, to the right man, when you feel secure, when you don't have to be put in that position to feel as if you have to do everything, you have to, you know what I mean? I will certainly let you lead because I don't like to have to do that constantly, right? So I totally agree with what you're saying. Now, in terms of the dating prospects, do you actually go out on dates? Because I know you're a workaholic, and I must say that. Like I know only time I know that you party is when you go to Carabana.
I don't even. That was once.
Once, right?
That
Once in
was
the
once.
outfit.
Do I go out on dates?
Right,
Not really. Um, I would love to.
right,
I
right,
would
right.
love to date. I don't really go out on dates, but hmm, I think I've been on like maybe 5 dates since I've been single,
Oh
and
wow.
years, yeah.
So is that a choice that you've made, or is it that just a situation because you work so hard?
I think it's because I work so hard. I'd rather work and make my money and know that I'm going to be secure with myself because somebody that takes me on a date, he's not providing for me. You know what I mean? He's
Right,
not providing me.
right.
It's just the date at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Um, like into that relationship, which I know that's the start of things, but here we are. Like I
right.
said, at that point, I needed to just climb my corporate ladder, be secure in my job for myself before I even give somebody the time of day.
Exactly. And I have a special guest that I wanted to bring in tonight, and she is Miss Keisha Elliston. And I hope you can see me, Keisha. How are you, Keisha?
Yes, yes. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Here.
Yes, we can. So this is
Hi.
beautiful, Shanika. This is
She is
Keisha.
beautiful. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
girl, you're both of you beautiful, stellar women. Now, Keisha is a social worker, a registered social worker, and psychotherapist. She has a master's of social work, registered social worker. As I said, 12 years of counseling experience, including strong knowledge, including with working with adults, adolescents, couples, and families, individuals, and everyone. And she is such a stellar. I've known this woman for a long time, and listening to Shanika speak, Keisha, what are your thoughts? I mean, first of all, just listening how strong she is as a woman.
Yeah.
Bringing herself to the dating world. Like, I know you have experience and you could possibly speak to this. What are your thoughts on Shanika and how she approaches the dating scene?
Yes. And so, first of all, I commend Shanika for even coming on, first
Yeah,
of all,
right.
and being transparent because you don't know how many people are in Shanika's position, which
Right,
are many. I always tell people if you could be a fly on my wall, you would know you're not alone. You're definitely
right,
not alone. And that involves male and female wanting to be in relationships and serving to be. So, number one, I commend you for your transparency and your openness and your honesty because you don't know how many people are tuning in and are like, yes, that what she said, what she said, what she said.
right,
That's what I did, right? Exactly. So I want to say, first of all, like there is no time limit. We talk about time. I always tell people, a lot of us hold ourselves to time, to time. It's always,
right,
and then I think, so I have an honors in sociology. I have an honors degree in sociology, and I love sociology because it really talks about societal norms and
right,
societal values. And societal norms are what is placed on us as individuals as we enter into a society. So
right,
we walk around and these standards that we don't even realize are there for us from out of nowhere without us even knowing. It's just something that's being imposed on us. Like, oh, you're old now. How come you're not married? Oh,
right,
how come you don't have children yet? How come these are automatic societal norms that have been placed on us without us even knowing? So everyone starts to get older or wiser, and they start to develop this weight, this burden, this
right,
backpack, because society has told you where and when and how your place in the world should be,
Yeah.
but it isn't that so. And so what you're sharing and showing is that I am out here, I am doing this, I am climbing the corporate ladder, I am doing a lot of stuff, but yet this is, this is where I find myself in this place to be. And
right,
so I do think one thing I want to let people know is you are doing the best thing that is possible, which is right now concentrating on yourself.
right.
Concentrating on yourself because you are strong. You are definitely, you have it going on for sure. That's not even a
Thank
question.
you.
Your skin's glowing, hair's on point, everything's on point. Like, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
you're gorgeous.
It's
Thank
not
you.
even worth, yeah. But what and that's how it should be. You need to, and this is people say, but I do this, I try not to focus. Well, that's the thing is that you really do have to focus on yourself. You really do have to focus on just bettering yourself because if you place that energy and that attention into constantly trying to just figure out who is it, where is he, I'm going here, and just that concentration, you'll lose
Right,
out on actually being present. And that's a lot of people. Well, I did this and I did that, and how come this didn't work? And how come that didn't work? And your so much energy is driven by just trying to find that person, that you're
right,
losing out on precious moments. And so I say to everybody when I talk to you, is you have to recognize time and for what it is. And everybody has a different time stamp and a different time frame. And
right,
unfortunately, none of us know when. That's why some people get married, divorced. Some people are like, how did you get proposed to 3 times? And I've never been proposed to once. You know what I mean? It's like, someone be like, I got married 3 times. Like, I haven't even been proposed to once. Like, but everyone's journey is different, right? And
right,
everyone's next thing is boundaries. Second
right,
thing is boundaries. Everyone's boundaries are different. And that's not a bad thing. What some people are willing to accept and take on or value is different
Mhm.
from other people. You have to
Exactly.
know that when someone is saying, well, she's married for like 20 years or this person, that's because maybe that person has accepted things that you're not willing to accept.
Right,
And
exactly.
again, it's not a comparison thing. It's not right or wrong. It's just what they're willing to do or not. I've
Right,
seen women that are married and men that I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I would never marry that man. Like that man and me would never work out. And I
right,
know I would never work out with that person in particular. Like, but hats off to her. She's living her life. Like that's good. I would never do that. But
right,
it works for them. It works for
right,
them. So
right,
time is one. Boundaries is a second thing. You have to know your boundaries because I'm telling you right now, when
right,
you know your boundaries, and I don't mean like stern, like I need someone who's 6'4", I need someone who's muscular, I need someone who's dark skin. Yes, that's what we all hope for, different stuff of all different
right,
nature, whatever it is, right? But when you're really starting to figure out, okay, I need more depth to the person, then it comes back to actually you and what you internalize for your boundaries and for your time frame. And I think those are very valuable things. The third thing I want to say is people forget, and I know this is a cliche, but I have to say it because this is what I say in sessions, is your confidence.
right,
It's actually confidence is like number one. If you
Number one.
statistically look at
right,
what is drives men or women to person, it really is their confidence.
hmm,
Now, I don't want to, dog out on the show or this amazing podcast, but you will see some people that, maybe are, what's the word I'm looking for? Not as attractive as you. Beautiful. But you like, how did that person get that person? Or how did that?
Because of their confidence. Yeah.
And you will be shocked.
Yeah.
Right.
You will be shocked. Like that person's been married for 12 years. Like, wow, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, when they don't care about their love roles, or they don't care about this, they don't care about that, you know, they still love themselves, and they're taking care of themselves in the way that they choose to, because they love themselves. That confidence actually outshines a lot more stuff. So people think it's a cliche thing, but it actually is very, very true. And how do you build that confidence? How do you build? Well, Shanika's doing a lot of things. She's doing a lot of the things that's just focusing on herself, doing her things, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Those are
that's
three
a good
things
thing.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing, because she's definitely, the one thing I love about Shanika is that she is working extremely hard on herself, and she has, you know, when you do the inner work, when you work on yourself, when you put yourself first. I mean, for those who don't know, I've also written 2 books, and my first chapter in both the books are put yourself first. And I see that the woman, and Shanika, this is the reason why I wanted her on the show, because I wanted an example of a woman who I believe who is actually doing that. She puts herself first. She's working on her career. She's taking care of her child. And so, but she also has her boundaries in terms of what she's not going to accept. And I love that. But still, yet, I want to walk down the aisle with Shanika as a bridesmaid and go, Shanika, you're the holy frock.
Oh.
Right? Because she's so gorgeous. I'm trying to
set her up. Listen, I'm gonna jump the. I'm now. I have you on my radar. I'm gonna set you up to, if I find some. Now you're
I'm
on
trying
my
to
radar.
set her up. Right? I'm going to be showing some photos of her pretty soon, but I'm trying to set her up. So this is what I'm saying. Like, for me, it's one of those things where you see a woman such as Shanika, who's just gorgeous, who has her head on her shoulders, and who knows exactly what she wants. And a lot of times, you know, here, you and I, Shanika, will be talking about this. I mean, I will say to you guys, a lot of times here in Canada, when I pass a man, I mean, a black man, a white man, especially a black man, because, you know, he's black. I'm going to put it out there, and I'll be just saying, you know, back in Jamaica, anybody you pass, you say good morning, good afternoon. Yeah. And I'll say good morning, good afternoon, not because I look nobody.
Just
right?
because it's a polite
way.
way.
It's a mannersy thing. And I swear, lady, it's as if to say, I told him, jump out of your skin.
It's an automatic thought for them.
Right? Automatic. Like, oh, what did she say? She said good morning. I'm like, I just said good morning. What's up? Why are you scared? But I noticed that they're not used to that. And I think here, especially in Canada, my goal is to bridge that gap with black and black women and black men. Because I don't know if you know, Shanika, but a lot of times when you do that, it's like, what do you do, right? They can't be approached.
It's, you know what it is? I feel like I stopped doing that because I feel like the guys that I do that to, they automatically think it's a way to hit on them, and then they turn
right?
So, like, I'm just saying hi. I'm passing you in the morning.
Exactly.
You know, hi, because you're there. It's morning. I'm happy. You should be happy. Whatever the case is. But then it turns into a different thing. So it kind of deters me from wanting to do that.
Right.
So now when I pass somebody with a straight face and I'm not as friendly, I get looked at as the angry black woman, or
you're rude. Yeah.
Rude.
Right.
So,
and that's
you
another
can't say hi. Yeah.
The culture is different.
That's another stereotype. Do you believe, ladies, that stereotype still exists? An angry black woman.
Yes.
What does she make? Yeah. What do you think? Does it still exist?
Yes. I'll tell you a little story. The other day, I went to a restaurant with my daughter, and there was a gentleman that I didn't know. He was with a guy and 2 other women. So I don't know if they were couples or not, but he approached me and walked up to me and was right in front of me and commented on the way that my daughter looked. And it was just an awkward, very inappropriate situation. And I had to think twice before I said what I wanted to say or did what I wanted to do, because I was the black lady in the situation. He was a tall 60-something-year-old white man that approached me in a negative light. And I thought about it. I didn't react the way I wanted to react. I just let it be what it is. But then I thought, okay, if I did react, they're going to look at me as the angry black woman. I'm going to be the one, because I'm now yelling at this gentleman, whatever the case is. So it exists. And I know how to handle those situations. I don't put myself in any situation where I'm going to be deemed as that.
Right.
But it sucks.
Right.
It's here still.
It really does. And that is so true. And that, I think, also carries itself out into relationships. You know what I mean? Because as a woman, sometimes if you even say, hey, I don't like this or I don't like that. Somebody said that to me the other day. Why are you so aggressive? And I'm like, I didn't raise my voice. But what I did was I said, I don't like what you're doing. I
Right.
don't appreciate it. And that's when the angry Black woman kind of comes out, right? According to them. There was no such anger in my face, right? I was smiling.
No, but it's
But
an
when I
answer
put my
they don't
foot
like. Yeah.
exactly, when I put my foot down. So, it's difficult to have that. And, for you, Keisha, do you still see this playing out, the whole angry Black woman situation, you know?
Yeah, and I love that you guys gave examples. I definitely agree with both of you. I think the stereotype has not let down, and that's another
Right.
part of society. And I think it actually gets encouraged through media, through memes, through social media. It doesn't let down because it's been put out there, and then people run with it. They run with it, right? And even though we are trying always to dismantle things that
Mhm.
have come from the 1400, 1500, things from slavery, where light skinned people are considered fairer than dark skinned people. That's
Right.
we've been just trying to dismantle that myth for years, and still we'll have Black people within our own race saying little comments here and there, knickknacks, right? Or someone saying, "Well, I she's too dark skinned for me to date," or
Mhm.
I don't do light skinned boys, or whatever, right?
Right.
It's still
Yeah.
so. Even if you're dismantling it, or you're trying, or it's a joke, these things still aggressive. So it is true. You can walk in and be stern like yourself,
Yeah.
Carlene, or hold your ground or hold your
Right.
position in something.
Yeah.
And
Stand
the
in your
first thing they
power.
will say is, let's attach this stereotype that we've done so well in
Yeah.
placing on Black women and continue to utilize that to as well bring down their power and
Right.
bring down their voice. Because I
Exactly.
promise you this, if an Asian lady says that,
Yeah.
right? If a Portuguese lady says that, right?
It's not seeing
If
the
a
same.
South Asian lady says that,
Yeah.
they're not going to, and they hold their ground and say whatever they got to say.
Yeah.
They're not going to be considered aggressive. They're not going to be considered like, it is literally only something attached to us. And because they want to belittle us, they want to belittle the Black woman. Because remember, the hierarchy of the totem pole, at the top of the totem pole, is who?
White men.
There you
White
go.
men. And where are Black women? Black
We're
women
Black
are
women. Very low.
we're at the very bottom. We're actually at the very
Very
bottom.
bottom. Right.
We're at the very bottom.
Yeah.
So in order to keep us there, society says in order to keep them there, we've got to continue with these stereotypes. We've got to continue with these judgments, this discrimination to keep it in place. So it is unfortunate, Shanika, that that's what happened to you at the restaurant. And it is important, but I do encourage everybody listening to this podcast that you should not be discouraged just because they're trying to attach it to you, and we do have to try and find a better lining. How do we voice our opinions and be strong and say what we got to say and mean what we got to say without
Right.
being looked at in that way? Because I promise you, other races and other women are doing it and they're fine.
Right. And so we have to get used to it. I like the points that you're bringing out, Keisha, because we also have to get used to owning our own voices and being able to say and stand in your power and stand, as they say nowadays, stand in on your business, right? Because the
Yes.
fact is, you cannot allow these things to continually be put on placed on you, and it's going to be continued. So you just have to kind of stand in your power. At this point, I just give up when people say, she's so aggressive. I'm like, yeah, okay,
Right.
she's aggressive.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
Sandy
you
exactly.
said, Sandy,
Exactly.
about
Sandy knows what she wants. Sandy there, okay, fine. I know what I want. I know what I'm not gonna. I'm too old to be standing for crap right now. About
yeah,
now.
Right. And you know what? I think you said something important when you're like, I'm too old to be something.
Yeah.
You have to encourage the young people because
Yeah.
they're going to try and tell our young kids, our young teenagers, like, oh, let's put her down. And these Black kids don't even know, our young kids just don't even know that they're being told to lose their voice. But slowly it will get smaller and smaller because they don't know, like,
They don't know.
this is something society does.
Yeah, for sure. And so one thing I want to show is because, Shanika, as I said, we're trying to hook up Shanika today, right? And
Today.
Shanika is so today. That's my goal. I don't know what anybody else's goal, but we have some amazing photos of Miss Shanika. I wanted to show them right now
Oh,
because when hotness in
Yes.
her mouth, Shanika was like,
I'm so shy.
Shanika was a full length of it, right? So she actually has We've got some great photos of her, and we're going to be showing them right now. So want to make sure that everybody can actually see these because Shanika is so nice looking. I mean, she look at her right now as she is. And Shanika, you know, one of them, I think I was going to choose the one with you in Carolina, but I actually didn't pick that. I thought they were, I didn't want your daughter. Right? Exactly, right? But I said to myself, you know, Shanika definitely would want to be seen and
I
stuff
love
like that.
that
So,
photo.
oh, okay. I can't see that. I have to like try to see how
I
I
can't
can.
see it. I can't see
I,
it.
I can see it behind you. I just know which photo it is.
Right, right, right.
Oh, it's behind. Oh, it's behind
Yeah,
that.
I'll stop. Chris, oh, there we go.
Oh,
There we go.
yes.
That's
If
me.
hotness was, when hotness was given
Yes.
out, to stand in, no one, as they say, when hotness was given out, she stand in the line a couple times.
Yeah.
Right? No, she never leave the line.
I went back for second
She
and
went
third.
back for seconds, my dear. When
Yes.
hotness, so another photo if we can. When hotness was given out, Shanika stood in the line. That's why some of us have no looks. Shanika, how dare you? Right?
You know what? That was a one
Where
take
was this?
photo. I loved it. That was at a restaurant downtown called Myth.
Okay.
It's
I
a
knew
Greek
it was Myth. I
Mediterranean.
knew it was
Yeah,
Myth.
it's a beautiful
Nice.
restaurant. I
Yeah.
tried octopus for the first time, so that's why that photo came out like that.
She tried out to. I am not even gonna go there. That's why she pours up stuff.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I felt nice.
Right. You look nice.
You
Thank
look
you.
very nice.
Thank
No,
you.
but that's the one thing. As you can see, Shanika works out. Look at her in a different haircut, different
Wow.
hairstyle. Wow.
That
As
was
I
at
told
Drake's restaurant downtown.
right? Keisha, when I put up her photos on my Facebook page, I'm telling you, I didn't get. I looked and was like, why is everybody blowing up on my page? Is everybody loving Shanika's pictures, right?
Oh,
The
no,
notifications.
this dress. Wow.
Oh, that was made actually for me.
Really?
Yes, that
Wow.
was handmade.
Gorgeous.
Thank
Jeez,
you.
that is gorgeous. Yes.
Really gorgeous. But the one thing, as I said, you know, Keisha and Shanika, I have to tell you straight up, is that I love you because you're so down to earth. You're so
Yeah.
grounded. She's such a hard worker. And a lot of times, you know, women will be working so hard, taking care of their families, like, as she does with her daughter. And still yet, you know, can't find that partner. So my job, as I said, is to find that partner for you. So Shanika, before we go, we want to just make sure that folks know where they can actually see you or actually have you, you know, your socials. What's your socials, as they say? How can folks reach out to you? How do
So,
they slide in your DMs right now?
I only have Instagram. I don't have anything else,
Right?
unfortunately.
Okay.
So I can be reached out on Instagram, and my Instagram link or my Instagram, I don't know what they call it, is at and then S Linda. So it's ESLINDA with 3 underscores at the end.
Okay. So so say it again for me, please.
ESLINDA
Yeah.
underscore. And you'll know it's mine when you see brown sugar.
Oh, there you
Ooh,
go.
yes.
As I said,
I might follow her just because.
I thought Shanique, listen, the one thing I said, it shouldn't be that. It should be girl who take all the looks. That's what you're.
Yes, brown sugar.
Girl who take all the looks and the drive. Keisha, it was an amazing pleasure just having you here. Shanika, yourself too, Keisha. Where can folks find you?
Oh my gosh. I'm located at fly underscore girl underscore K. That's FLY underscore GIRL underscore K. We're hitting you with the fly girl K. That's right.
There you go. So we have Shanika and Keisha today as my guests for the very first show. Yes, ladies, we're going to be talking about this and yay! The Daily Grind. Continuously
the best
from
show.
now on.
We don't have to wish you best. I'm sure once the show is done and it gets out there, I'm running to my husband. Do you have any friends? I saw somebody.
Right? I'm trying to hook her up. But listen, thank you guys so very much. So the show once again is the Daily Grind with Sandy Daly every Wednesday at 8:30 and every Saturday at 6 p.m. So Wednesdays, it's shoot your shot, and tonight was Shanika shoot your shot. Slide into her DMs, you guys. Be nice. If you come and tell anybody about her, come after on, okay?
Oh
Be
yeah.
nice to her. Keisha, And Shanika, thank you so very much. Guys, I will see you guys on Saturday at 6 p.m.
Thank
once
you,
again. Bye,
Sandy.
guys.
Yes,
Nice to meet
thank
you,
Take care.
Keisha.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Sandy.
much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.